Bird Vetch, green fertilizer, healing wisdom, and spiritual grounding on the land. I'm standing right here over a patch of Bird Vetch. Some folks call it tufted vetch or cow vetch. And this little plant is doing more work in the soil than most people realize. It's a climber, a nitrogen fixer, and a natural fertilizer that God placed in the land long before anybody was selling bags of chemicals. Bird Vetch belongs to the legume family. And like all legumes, it forms a relationship with bacteria in the roots that pull nitrogen straight out of the air and put it back into the soil. That means this plant is feeding the ground for free. When you see vetch growing, you're looking at a natural green manure, a plant that restores fertility without you having to buy anything. It also has a deep root system. Some vetch species send taproots down more than 2 or 3 feet, holding the soil together and stopping erosion. That's why you'll see it on slopes, edges, and disturbed ground. It shows up where the land needs help. It's a stabilizer. Now let's look at the physical and ecological benefits. Bird Vetch feeds the pollinators too. Bees, butterflies, and all kinds of insects come to these purple flowers. When they land, the plant dusts them with pollen, and they carry that life to the next flower. So this plant is not just feeding the soil, it's feeding the whole system. Now let's talk about the healing side. Because vetch has a quiet history in natural medicine. Different species of vetch have been used traditionally for things like calming inflammation, soothing irritated skin, helping wounds tighten and heal, and even easing digestive discomfort. Some types were brewed as teas or used as poultices. Some vetches contain flavonoids, tannins, and polyphenols, compounds known for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. That's why people use them on the skin or in general watches. But like any wild plant, you have to know the species because not every vetch is meant to be eaten. Some are for only external use or for the soil. And then there's the metaphysical side, the part our ancestors understood without needing a lab. Bird vetch is a binding plant. It climbs, it wraps, it holds things together. Spiritually, that makes it a plant of connection, stability, and restoration. Where the ground is weak, vetch shows up. Where the soil is poor, vetch enriches it. Where the land is slipping, vetch holds it. Plants reveal their purpose by their behavior. This one teaches that restoration doesn't always come loud. Sometimes it comes quietly by holding things together until strength returns. In hoodoo and in land-based practice, a plant that binds and stabilizes is a plant that brings order. It brings grounding. It brings connection back to places that were falling apart. That's why I pay attention to what grows on this land. The land is always telling the truth. So this is Bird Vetch, a nitrogen fixer, a green fertilizer, a pollinator plant, a traditional healer, and a spiritual stabilizer. Most folk walk past it like it's nothing. But everything God placed here has a purpose. And when you learn the land, you learn yourself. I'll keep teaching on the plants that show up here because every one of them is part of the stewardship. This is how you build a garden that's not just physical, but spiritual. This is how you honor what's already under your feet.